fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
No longer are you forced to pay high, non-member retail prices or be tied down to one brand of car wash because you belong to their loyalty program. Get better mileage out of your hard-earned dollar with a Wash Me membership. With Wash Me, it's as easy as click, click, clean. You decide where and when you want your car washed. Open the app, select a partner wash location, press go, and Wash Me will take you there using your favorite mapping app. Whether you're at home or away for some business or hopefully pleasure, you'll have access to a nearby Wash Me partner wash. Your Wash Me membership is linked to your mobile phone and not your vehicle, which means you can wash your car, a rental car, grandma's car, or any car, as long as you have your phone with you. Check out the Wash Me app on your favorite app store or mywashme.com for more information.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 10 o'clock in the Heartland.
Fox News, I'm Paul Stevens. A suspect still at large in the killing of a Minnesota state lawmaker and her husband and the injuring of a second state lawmaker and his wife.
Authorities say the suspected killer wore a mask and dressed like a police officer, even driving what looked like a police SUV. He went to the homes of two prominent Democratic politicians here in Minnesota and shot them and their spouses yesterday. Investigators say they are on the hunt right now for 57-year-old Vance Bolter for his connection to the shooting.
Fox's Matt Finn. Residents in Israel seeing direct hits by Iranian missiles and collateral damage as well.
The shock waves smashing windows, destroying roofs, ripping off the window frames and the doors of all of these buildings, and they will have to be moved elsewhere.
Fox's Alex Hogan outside Tel Aviv, both sides continuing their attacks. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
U.S. Air Force Technical Sergeant Jesse Clark's military service came to an end after a chemical exposure caused a large tumor to form in his brain. As a result, he is paralyzed on the left side of his body, legally blind, prone to memory loss, and in a wheelchair. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation built this hero a new smart home to help him live a more independent life. Help heroes like Jesse Clark. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stocks tumbled and oil prices surged after Israel launched strikes against Iran's nuclear program and military leaders, and as Iran retaliates. The major averages were on track for weekly gains coming into Friday's trading session, but ended the week in the red, snapping a 3-week winning streak. Energy was the only gainer among the 11 S&P 500 sectors as oil prices soared to their highest level since January. Defense sector stocks like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin advanced. However, travel stocks, including airlines and cruise operators, were among the biggest decliners. Gold prices rose with the precious metal trading over $3,400 a troy ounce. When there's high amounts of uncertainty, investors like to put their money into safe assets. The Dow down 770 points, the Nasdaq lower by 256, S&P 500 down 68. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
I'm Emily Campagno, host of the Fox True Crime Podcast. This week, Pulitzer Prize-winning author Caroline Fraser joins me to discuss the cultural and environmental factors that shaped America's era of serial killers.
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com.
I'm Dana Perino. This week on Perino on Politics, I'm joined by Stephen Law.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
Or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-679-9577. That's 800-679-9577.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Isaac Lowenkron.
In Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final on Saturday night, the Florida Panthers won at Edmonton 5-2 for a 3-2 lead. Brad Marchand, 2 goals for Florida, becoming the first player to score at least 5 goals in a Stanley Cup Final for 2 different teams. Game 6 on Tuesday at Florida. Golf, after 3 rounds of the U.S. Open, Sam Burns has a 1-shot lead at 4 under par overall over Adam Scott and J.J. Spawn. Burns and Scott will tee off the final round at 2:15 Eastern. Baseball Saturday night. The Los Angeles Dodgers over the San Francisco Giants 11-5. Shohei Ohtani, 2 home runs. He now has 25 home runs this year and 250 in his career. And the Arizona Diamondbacks scored 5 in the bottom of the 9th inning to stun the San Diego Padres 8-7.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy, getting down to 66 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the mid-80s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the lower 90s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 77. In Wentzville it's 76 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Well, good Sunday morning. We are live in the Gateway Fiber studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Of course, this is Uncensored Wrestling Talk, and today we're going until noon. It's a 2-hour show. With me this morning, he's back from being on hiatus. He is the Nematode Nelly. He's the super fan Tim Williams.
Oh, it's so good to be back. Oh, it was a long weekend.
Yeah, you got out of Dodge when getting out of Dodge was.
It was a good timing.
All day, Aaron Riley, our guest last week, decided to come in and confront you, and you just
I wasn't here.
And scattled.
Hey, I just need to know: did you put a phone book down so you could get us hyped up?
I'm not going there with you. Also joining me this morning, as per usual, he is our resident referee. He's Mr. 1.
We're gonna do it now.
3.
Yeet. We're yeeting.
H.D. Daniels.
Good morning.
And of course, we have a special guest this morning. I'm going to introduce him here in just a few moments, so hold on to your seats. Of course, we're not only just live on the radio, we are also live on the radio's Facebook page. Then you can find that at KYRO 1280 AM 105.3 FM. Of course, also Traveling East Productions, Facebook and Rumble. Go like and subscribe. And of course, also would be remiss without it, the Uncensored Wrestling Talk Facebook page as well. And the video broadcast of the shows here on KYRO are brought to you in partnership with Traveling East Productions and made possible by Blue Line Lawn Care and Landscaping, Original Crow Feather Crystal Healing Jewelry, Pickle on the Run, and of course also Country State of Mind Designs. And you can find all those awesome businesses on Facebook, Instagram, and X. He started in pro wrestling as a sound engineer and merchandiser at the age of 10. His older brother is now a retired pro wrestler. He made his in-ring debut at the tender age of 17. Former LWA St. Louis Anarchy president. Former IHW general manager. Former referee for several promotions, including RCW, MMWA, LWA, MAX, UWA, CHWA, IWA, Mid-South, MECW, and of course Dynamo Pro Wrestling as well. Former announcer and commentator for several promotions, including LWA, MAX, UWA, RCW, and IHW. He's a current commentator for Dynamo Pro Wrestling and CHWA. Current program director for the Wrestle Talk podcast, and we've had Renee on this show several times. Very awesome show. And he will be inducted next weekend into the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame by Earl Mangrum and Dynamo Pro Wrestling announcer Chris Rodell. Of course, I am speaking of the one and only. He is Mr. Luke Roberts.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me, guys. Like I said, I was holding on to the edge of my chair, or actually the side of my chair, because I don't know what HD was thinking with the yeet, no yeet thing, but you know something? I don't question HD now.
You should question him.
No, not at all. Like,
you got to get used to this real quickly, here, Luke. He's a pot stirrer.
I'm the nematode Nelly.
That is true. That is true. But you know, one thing we're going to talk about here today, and again, also want to give a shout out to all the great folks. You talked about the sponsors earlier on. Make it a point to check them out. They are the one of the big pieces, along with the viewer and listenership, as to what makes this program go each and every week. And if you enjoy Uncensored Wrestling Talk, make it a point to contact those great sponsors, and also make it a point to communicate with us on the socials.
That's right.
Make it a point to communicate, because like I said, today we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame week out. And like I said, it's going to be a great night of professional wrestling history, stories, socialization, you name it, from top to bottom. A great night, just like it is a great day here today. And also want to give a shout out to all the fathers around. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
for
Day
those
indeed.
that are in the listenership. Again, it's going to be a great day here on Uncensored Radio, Uncensored Wrestling Talk.
There you go. You know, real quick, you were speaking about interacting with Facebook, and everybody can do that with our Facebook pages that we've got up there, plus Rumble as well. And Nikki O'Shaughnessy saying good morning. Good morning to you, Nikki. Of course, also Trisha McGarry Williams. Happy Father's Day and a special yeet to her. How about them apples? He don't like that very much, but that's okay.
We're yeeting. We're not stopping.
We're yeeting.
Do you realize I've got a chick now because of that word?
That's all right.
Is there any way that we could have like a running counter as to how many times we can say yeet in a 2-hour program? I just want to see his reaction when we're done. It really would be a cool thing.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, well,
I'm not on the floor by the end.
Since I run this show, Superfan, I'm going to give that a big capitalized letters, 4 letters, 1 word, yeet!
That would be 3, by the way, for those keeping score. Like I said, I mean, again, today, talking pro wrestling, and I mean, again, when you have the opportunity to talk pro wrestling, Uncensored Wrestling Talk, a lot of things going on in the world of pro wrestling, and again, it's an honor and a privilege to be here today on the show. A lot of things going on in the world of pro wrestling, and again, it's an honor to be here, and let's talk some wrestling.
I've got my first question for you here. You started in pro wrestling at a really, really, really young age as a merchandiser and a sound engineer. How did you get started at that young of an age?
Well, I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and it's kind of ironic that when you get in the wrestling industry and you're 10, 11, 12 years old. Most of the time you're running around, you're hanging out with friends, you're wanting to get hot dogs, you're wanting to get popcorn and soda and all that kind of stuff. I had a different avenue. I grew up with a lot of professional wrestlers in the industry from a very young age. One of my mentors, one of my trainers, John Blackheart from the MMWA, he and my brother, who's also a retired pro wrestler, met outside of the wrestling industry. And it was ironic that, my brother, I'm not a small guy by today's standards, but back then it was one of those situations where he saw the potential in my brother. And my brother at the time was doing sound. He was producing the program. He was in contact with people to get shirts made, all those kinds of things, really ahead of the curve. And when he goes into the ring, there's nobody to run sound. There's nobody to sell the T-shirts or the bumper stickers and the buttons and the pictures and all that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of how it happened. And I'll tell you right now, from a wrestling perspective, being able to do sound and do all these things behind two staples of the St. Louis wrestling community, that being Herb Simmons, promoter of SICW, and another fellow inductee, the legendary Ed Smith, doing commentary back late 80s, early 90s. If you ever want to sit under a learning tree, that's the tree to sit under. And again, it just kind of, there wasn't really a choice. It was kind of like you hear the stories of like the Harts and the Flairs and the Samoan Dynasty. You just kind of grow into the wrestling industry.
Wow, awesome. And then you made your in-ring debut at the age of 17. I'm guessing you were still in high school at the time, but how long did you train before you stepped for the first time inside the ring as a competitor?
Well, that's a great question, because when you sit down and you look at professional wrestling, a lot of schools nowadays, you're 2, 3, 4 days a week, plus getting in the car and traveling hundreds of miles to it. I pretty much spent the bulk of my high school years. A lot of friends like, oh, let's go to the football game, or let's go see the soccer teams play, or this, that, and whatnot. And for the better part of 4 years, it was basically from when I started high school till 2 months before I graduated high school, I was going every Tuesday and Wednesday night down to the South Broadway Athletic Club's training facility and training with John Blackheart, with my brother, with the Human Wrecking Ball, Pete Madden, another name for those that are familiar here in the great Midwest. And again, being in there 2 nights a week, 2-3 hours a night every night, tons of things. I remember telling stories because that's good. And again, yeet, just to get you know, super fan, that's 4. But when it comes down to it, man, I remember when Pete Madden was experimenting with new moves. And those that know Pete Madden know he is just a phenomenal in-ring competitor and a phenomenal person as well. I was laying on the mat. I had been body slammed in my body again. You never get used to it. And all he says is, here, stay here. Okay. And I look, and all I see is Pete Madden go up there. I see somebody throw him a chair. I'm like, okay, this is training. What's going on? And then I close my eyes, and I'm like, I hope I live to tell the story. And he came across, and one of the first videos that I had was him hitting me with one of his very first chair salts. And, again, at that point, most people were like, I'm not letting people hit me with a chair from 7, 8 feet in the air. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's one of the coolest things I ever saw.
Wow. Very, very cool. HC, you look like you've got a question there, my friend.
No, actually, I was just kind of agreeing with your little statement there. Not going to make this interview about me, but there was an incident at, I'll just say OVW when I was there. Mm-hmm. And to break the curtain a little bit, they told me I was going through a table. And I was like, you know what? I was a little reluctant at first, but your story reminded me, like, I'm just going to do this. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was like I got speared through a table in a cage match in the main event of an OVW pay-per-view. And I was like, you know what? That's a memory that I'll have forever.
And look at him now. Again, he's gone from getting speared through a table in a cage match on pay-per-view, and now you can catch him countless different wrestling promotions throughout the Midwest. And again, NWA, WLW, Dynamo Pro, among others. A lot of great promotions that H.T. Daniels has been a part of. And again, Another one of those friendships wouldn't trade for anything in the world, because this man right here is hands down one of the best I've ever seen. And for him to be able to get in the ring and do what he does each and every time, being that third man in the ring, being an official is not easy. And he makes it look easy, except when you go through tables and chairs and wind up, I don't know how you want to put it without, I know I won't offend you, but a certain WLW championship that's no longer around the waist, I believe, of one Camaro Jackson. And that was totally not HD's fault. 100% not his fault. But again, it was one of those where when I saw that, I mean, again, he stood up for law and order, and it came back to catch him.
Yeah, that's for sure. He got caught in that corner for sure, and then down he went, and then down to the concrete floor he went, and we didn't see him at all for the rest of the night. We are about to come up on our very first break here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk, but I've got to ask you also, when you were growing up, before you became a merchandiser and sound engineer and knew what you were going to be doing for the rest of your life, basically, what was the match? What was the thing that you saw that was like the most standout for you and was like, you know what, that is what I want to do?
Well, there's two of them really. One is, and HD, I know you're gonna laugh. Tim, you may not get the reference. I'm just gonna warn you now. Picture it. Yeet. Thank you. Picture it. Piedmont, Missouri, 1982. You gotta take into consideration. I'm trying to channel Estelle Getty here. Is the idea of where I remember when I was 4 and 5 years old, and I would always go down to my grandmother's house, and this was back in the days before cable, before anything else. And she managed in southern Missouri to be able to get, by adjusting the rabbit ears, she managed to get Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those where I knew full well that 5 o'clock, there wasn't a choice. My dad was in my grandpa's recliner, my grandma was in her recliner, my mom was on the couch, and I was sitting on probably some of the hardest, ugliest, brown-orange carpet of the 1980s you could possibly imagine. But being that young and seeing the likes of Ole and Gene Anderson, seeing the likes of a young Ric Flair, seeing the likes of a Paul Jones. I still remember one of my favorites, or my family's favorites, was Thunderbolt Patterson. And had an opportunity to meet him just a couple years ago up in Waterloo, Iowa. Great man, very, very talented individual. But when you grow up with that, I mean, that's one of the ways to look at it. And I remember we were talking about it earlier today. Talking about Starrcade 83.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, seeing Flair and the legendary Harley Race going at it in the steel cage for where Flair would win his second NWA World title.
Yep.
And, I mean, again, just seeing the pageantry back then, and it was the idea of where you didn't have all the video boards, you didn't have you did have pyro, but it wasn't nearly as big as it is today. But it's the idea of sitting there and seeing two men bleed, sweat, and as they say, pay the price to be inside the ring. And again, one of the things I would love to do, but probably, again, in retrospect will never happen, I would have loved to be, a lot of people talk about Morocco and Snuka and where they were at MSG. That's one I would have loved to be at. And again, kind of coming full circle, made my in-ring debut in 95 and 97, had an opportunity to share that information with Mr. Race, and again, those were probably the two biggest things that got me into the wrestling industry.
Very, very cool. And we've got a 45-second break coming up real quick on the Facebook as well. Again, Jimmy Harris Sr. saying morning to everybody here on the Uncensored Wrestling Talk show and on the Nation's Facebook page as well. So we're going to go ahead and take this quick break, and when we come back, more with Luke Roberts right after this.
Yeet.
Yeet!
Trax Pizza.
That only
Outstanding
counts
pizza,
as one.
Sandwiches and pasta. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Open daily at 3 p.m. Order online at TraxPizzaCompany.com. Call 264-8600 or come see us on Main Street in historic downtown Winfield. Trax Pizza, 264-8600.
Help provide for families in need with food items during Menards Food Drive. Simply head to Menards. Place non-perishable food items in the collection bin by our exit doors. And that's it. All donations will be given to a local organization representing your community to help those in need. Head to Menards to help your community today. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
New and used firearms, gun repair, and all types of outdoor accessories on Main Street in downtown Winfield. Black Flag Outfitters. Check us out on Facebook or stop by at 203 Main Street in Winfield. 636-358-0992.
Well, welcome back, Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We are live in the Gateway Fiber studios of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO, and of course also on our different platforms, Facebook, the radio station's Facebook page, Traveling East Productions Facebook, and Rumble. Of course, also Uncensored Wrestling Talk's Facebook page. Just had a special visitor stop by, dropped off some donuts, and there's a special donut in this batch that says, and it's just for superfan Tim Williams, and it says, "Yeet!"
That's 7 for those keeping up.
I think that counts as 4 separate. There.
Well, let's give you an idea. It's
first turn around, superfan, and look at the window here.
Yeah, you.
Thank you. Great.
Now
Love you.
Now that the superfan's totally out there, and again, I know you want your Yeet donut soon enough, so it's 9. But when it comes down to it, you talk about pro wrestling, and we were talking about this here, and again, make it a point. We're going to talk about another old school topic, if you will, and that was WCCW. That was another one that once I started seeing my brother get into the wrestling industry, WCCW was the thing. I mean, again, when you lose wrestling at the Chase to the WWF at the time, that and the AWA were basically the two promotions you could get on a national level. That and the NWA, of course, but you could get those two with regularity. And again, as I say countless times before, the idea, another match that sticks out to me was Flair versus Kerry Von Erich, the first Parade of Champions. And again, that, and if you don't know Von Erich's versus Freebirds, you got to definitely, that's one you didn't follow. And again, HD, I know you and I have talked about that. Do you have any words to summarize the whole feud between the Von Erichs and the Freebirds?
I would have to say yeet.
Superfan is just 4 letters. It's one word.
Yeah, it's one word I am not going to say. In fact, I think we should have a moment of silence for Jey Uso and his championship reign.
No, because he'll bounce back. He'll bounce back.
Well, you know, one thing.
No worries.
Well, Sarge, one thing you got to go, and we're going to kind of shift gears here for a minute. I was listening to something on the way in today, and again, being the media person that I am, I agree with a lot of sports media in saying, I've heard lately, is that Jey Uso losing the championship to Gunther, I mean, again, he's topping merchandise, tickets are moving, all the things that you need to be a professional wrestling superstar are there. But who did he really get to defend the championship against?
Nobody. That's a good question. I mean,
well, everybody was waiting for the Seth Rollins match. They never did it. Then Punk, they were also going to promote Punk for a little bit, never did it. And then all of a sudden they throw it to Jey just because they want to give him something.
Well, you know, one thing I got to look at here is the idea of where when you're talking about professional wrestling, and again, Jey Uso, as far as the identification with the fans, I mean, he's going to be one of those that you very well are going to see. Oh, and by the way, Superfan, can you read those?
No, I can't read that word.
Sarge?
It's 4 letters, one word, yeet.
That'd be
Did
12.
you say beep?
Yeet.
Beep.
Yeet. Beep. That's 15.
I was gonna
keep going.
I was gonna wait, but our special guest brought it up. I am in mourning since you brought it up.
You should be in
mourning. It was a month and a half title reign, and it was disrespect.
And I told you he was going to lose.
You told us he was going to lose, but it was the wrong choice, so we didn't believe you.
And it's still the wrong choice. Because exactly from what Luke just said, he's the top in merchandise. He's the top fan favorite at the moment. Even, to be quite honest, I think he even surpasses Cody Rhodes at the moment as well. You just don't take
the reason they did it, and this is coming a little bit from the dirt sheet, is they're going to set up Gunther and Goldberg. There you go.
At the moment, for that,
for a retirement match.
Who cares?
I agree. Why should they put it?
Because you just took the belt off the most popular person in the world right now, in WWE's world anyway, and that's Jey Uso.
No, I think Cody's still popular.
No. I think HD is going to chime in here, but I've got a couple other.
No, he's got to be quiet because he's in mourning.
That is true. But when you sit there and look at it, I'm going to tell you right now, two people that really have kind of stood out as of late too, and you can't kind of close the door on them because of how much they've impacted the WWE. One, Ron Killings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, again, his return, so to speak, to WWE has been nothing short of amazing. It's gripping television. And the other one is, and I'm going to tell you right now, WrestleMania next year, we're going to see for one of the championships, we're going to see Ron Killings versus Mr. Iguana.
Ooh.
I am a part of the Mr. Iguana fan club. I think it's nothing short of amazing. When Lince Dorado gives a Spanish fly to a iguana puppet, you know that is something that definitely is going to be one of those that are going to make people be happy. It's going to get HD out of his funk, and it's going to get the fans to say yeet.
True.
Oh, I'm not stopping to say in the yeet. I'm not stopping. It's not stopping.
I think there should be a rule. You can't say it if he doesn't have the championship belt.
Oh, we were saying it before he had the championship.
I know. They were saying it beforehand, but I think that
even
should be the new rule.
The yeet movement moves
without
on,
a belt, you can't say it.
Okay, listen.
Wrong.
Listen here, Super.
Totally wrong.
Listen to me. Listen to me just for a second. Back in the day, not too long ago, Daniel Bryan, of course, had that yes movement. And the fans were just all over that. But when he left, it died away after about 6 months or so, because they were still doing the yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone away. With the yeet,
it ain't going
it's
nowhere.
Never going away.
Nowhere.
Ever.
Nowhere.
I guess imitation is the best form of flattery there.
Even if in the arenas around the world, they stop doing the yeet. Even if that were to happen on this radio station, on this show, Uncensored Wrestling Talk, HD Daniels and Sarge will forever yeet.
Forever.
22.
Forever.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Another question for you, Luke, here. From back in the day. A wrestling match that you can think of that you would have liked to have seen but never happened for whatever reason?
Ooh. That's a very tough question to go at because, I mean, again, Harley Race was one of my role models in the wrestling industry. I would have to say, honestly, I would have loved to have seen in person. I would have loved to have seen anything with the Rock and Rolls and the Midnights. Mm-hmm. I know that actually happened, but I mean, again, never really getting a chance to see those two teams live and in their prime. I'd say 84, 85, right. 86. One of them I would have loved to have seen, and again, it probably was something in Indianapolis or maybe up north, would have been the idea of seeing... I would like to have seen, and again, HD, this may be a little before your time, and I'm sorry. I know you're in mourning.
Yeah, you call me out all the time on my lack of vintage wrestling knowledge.
It was before you were born. I can't go too far on that. But I would have loved to have seen, on one side would have been Nick Bockwinkel. Mm-hmm. I thought it was phenomenal orator, a very respectable champion. And I would have loved to have seen him against somebody like Pat O'Connor.
Wow.
Go back to the old school mentality. I mean, again, there's a lot of them. Seeing the likes of Fez, Hackenschmidt, Orville Brown, others along those lines that really set the bar for wrestling back when you didn't have all these wonderful smartphones and you have all the people jumping on the computers. It was back the idea where you would see a match and then you go 300-400 miles down the road and you would see somebody. I mean, it could be like Ric Flair would wrestle the Bruiser here in St. Louis, and then he could turn around 2 nights later and be wrestling somebody like Jerry Lawler or Austin Idol in Memphis. Then you send him might send him a few days later down to Texas and wrestle somebody. Any of those matches back in the day that there's not really a lot of footage of, those are the kinds of things that I absolutely would love to see.
You know, there is something that I do personally miss, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well. You know, you just mentioned about smartphones, and we live now in the day and age of social media, and you can jump on and see pretty much anything and everything from pretty much everywhere, from way back in the day now. There's a lot of stuff that's put out there. But, you know, one of the things that I miss doing is on Sunday mornings, picking up a newspaper, opening up the sports pages, and seeing results from wrestling, from professional wrestling the night before or the week during the week that happened at the Kiel Auditorium or back in the day Checker Dome or in Kansas City at the Municipal Auditorium there in Kansas City, Kansas. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, in this day and age, and this is where HD and I are going to give a shout out, a yeet, if you will, to our good friend, and Tim, you probably know this guy too, in all honesty, a gentleman by the name of Patrick Brandmeier. Here's a guy who, much like us, has followed professional wrestling. He has been around wrestling better part of 20 years. But when it comes down to this day and age of having the smartphone, having the internet, he's the one, when I get up at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday, when you can't turn to the idea of getting the results in the newspaper anymore, he's the one that's taking, especially in our community, he's the one that's going through and getting the results and telling you what happens and who won and how did they win and how much time did they take. He is truly a historian of a different level. I mean, again, a lot of people say, I've got a pretty good knowledge of history in this area. Sarge, I mean, you and all three of you are very knowledgeable with the likes of a WLW and other promotions here in the area. But he's able to be that avenue. That's one of the blessings I have for being around as long as I have been. And yes, that means I'm old. But when it comes down to it, the idea of seeing, I mean, again, I remember those days. I wish they would come back, but in honesty, with the way things are, it's not. But having people who would take the time to focus on a particular territory, those people are few and far between. And again, it's one of those where it shows how wrestling's changed, but the more things change, the more things stay the same.
That's true. That's very, very true. Right now in today's wrestling, let's do a super dream matchup here, if you will, since I was talking about in the past, who would you like to see?
I already got one. HG Daniels versus Tim in a yeet match.
I'd lose that because I'm not going to say
that one.
Yeah, I got yeeted 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did. But, you know, you're a trooper. You got back up. You know, the next morning you were right here.
Several
times. He said it. We got it right there on air.
Shoot.
He actually did.
I think I said cheated.
So, and it's being recorded too. So,
dang
yeah,
it.
I guess it was 2 weeks in a row, 2 weeks ago, because I got like smack yeeted in the face by one Skylar Sparks.
Yep. Yeah, that was at the last event.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, last weekend
I think
was
you got a bullseye in
June
your back
event.
Now. I mean, a yeet-zai.
I know what it's like to get knocked around by Skylar Sparks. So, you know, that's a different story for another day. But I tell you what, Superfan, I'm going to tell you this right now. Last week, I was also confronted on Saturday night backstage by Skylar Sparks, and she told me to tell you that there is a target on your back and that one day she will show up here and she will give you the what for.
The what for. Okay. As you might say, the yeet for. All right, there you go.
That's two. We can push it. 1036, 1037, right there. The super fan, he's getting on board.
No,
HD, it's all a part of the yeet conspiracy that he has.
The yeet brainwashing, the yeet washing,
or maybe the yeet spiracy.
The yeet spiracy.
Sherry Harley and Josh Mudd, both on the Facebook page, the interaction part of it, says Happy Father's Day, and we thank you so much, and Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there watching and listening, and even the ones that aren't, by golly. We'll say it to everybody. And a special thank you to Superfan's wife, Trisha, for bringing in some awesome Yeet donuts. These look really, really good, and I cannot wait to dive into these things.
And if you keep listening in on the program, you keep viewing the program on social media, I think it's going to be a very good thing before the end of the show. You very well may see a picture of the Superfan with his present, his donut, right here on Uncensored Wrestling Talk on social media.
That's a good possibility.
You know what it could be? I think it's one of those where, I think here will be right now. Let's go ahead for all the viewers, all the listeners who are listening here on the radio.
Seriously,
who are
you're
following
going to go that way.
No, I'm going to make it fair, and we'll give you an opportunity. You can set the Yeet total. How many people do we need to have correspond with us on the show for you to take a picture with the Yeet donut? How many people? In the Yeet glasses. Oh, that's another one there.
In the Yeet
Tell you what, since you're not going to
gallery back there. I mean,
considering the fact that you're not wanting to speak up on it, how about this? If we can get 25 comments on the Facebook feed between now and the end of the show, we will have a picture of the Superfan with the Yeet donut. If we can make 50 comments by the end of the show, which is a little over an hour, he'll take a picture with the Yeet donut in the Yeet glasses.
Ooh.
You understand why this guy is in media? Can you hear it?
I love it.
I absolutely love it.
And you know that the Superfan's new website, www.superfanyeet.com. So
Man, he just came right into the show today.
I know.
He? Like,
did you brainwash him before he came in?
I didn't.
He
have
was
to.
like that from the get-go.
Luke and I have an understanding of what needs to be done.
Indeed.
Now, with the in-ring situation, you transferred over to being a referee.
Mm-hmm.
How hard of a deal was that for you, both mentally and physically, to go from being a professional wrestler to being a referee?
Well, honestly, being a referee was more of a mental mindset because, in honesty, and HD had the opportunity, he's had experience pretty much throughout all avenues of the wrestling industry, which is one of the things I shared with him very early in his career. You got to learn, you got to adapt to how things are going to change with the times. The physical wear and tear on my body hasn't been nearly as bad, but it's more of a mental game because, as a very wise WWE Hall of Famer once said, a great referee could take an average match and turn it into the main event of WrestleMania. A bad referee can take Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and send it down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
And again, having the opportunity to be in the ring and be a referee, it's a different mindset. It's a different way of looking at things. But having the opportunity, two stories that I can share with you real quick. One, I had an opportunity to be in the ring with a gentleman by the name of Dorian Victor as he was taking on Samoa Joe. And I remember counting the count. It was like 1, 2, and I made it a point to tell Samoa Joe it was 2. And he told me, no, it was a 1 count. And for those that are listening to the program, you pretty much know what he meant by that 1 count. And never forget that. And the other one was I was refereeing a match for a little promotion. It was called MECW, Metro East Championship Wrestling. Shout out to Mahler McDarby, by the way. Was the idea of where I was refereeing a championship matchup. And a man was known by the Pride of Peoria, Eric Allen. And he came in and he hit me right. I mean, you talk about all these wrestlers with those big, giant hinge knee braces because they blow out their knees. They have countless knee surgeries, things along the line. And he hit me right on the temple with that brace. And as HD can tell you, first guy by my side after I'd basically been knocked unconscious was the one, the only, the Don Mega Shorty Biggs. And he and a gentleman by the name of Shogun Chris Logan came up to me, and they're asking me questions and the whole nine, and it sounded like the teacher from Peanuts. And it took about 45 minutes to get the cobwebs to finally shake loose. But, again, being a referee, I mean, the physical aspect, I mean, the going home with the bumps and the bruises usually isn't a good idea. But just being so tired, I mean, again, that's one of the things where you don't see a lot of referees, like even on the indie level or in the national level, They're there. They're setting up the ring. They're setting up all the stuff around
Mm-hmm.
it. They're doing the event, and then a lot of times they're sticking around for an hour, 2, 3 hours, tearing all that stuff down to get it to the next town. And again, referees truly are the unsung heroes when it comes to wrestling, is because of the fact there are so many things, both matches and otherwise, that they do.
You know, in my mind, the second greatest referee of all time, Little Nate, Charles Robinson, what you were just talking about, he still does that. Setting up the ring, doing the refereeing on the matches, tearing down the ring afterwards, making sure everything's copacetic and ready to move on to the very next, city the next day and what have you. He doesn't get, in my mind, he doesn't get enough kudos, personally.
I agree with you. I mean, Charles Robinson has been is a great referee, but there's a lot of referees that don't get the credit they deserve. Referees like Nick Patrick.
Yeah.
Again, he was in the NWO. Yeah, but he was an accomplished in-ring competitor before
was.
he even thought about donning the stripes.
For sure.
Another one, Tommy Young.
Tommy Young.
That was a man.
That's my number one.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And HG and I have had plenty of conversations about Tommy Young and how good he was. And the crazy thing of it all is his career ended in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It was just I think it was an untelevised match, and he wound up getting hit and wound up doing some severe damage to his back, and was never able to get back in the ring. Another one, which again, this may be showing my age a little bit. Make it a point to go online, go onto social media, go onto YouTube, and find Johnny Red Shoes Dugan. That was another one from the California territory that was phenomenal in the ring. Joey Morella was another, among others. There were a lot of great referees. And again, that's one I would love to sit down. And again, I know it's something that's going to very well be brought up soon on Uncensored Wrestling Talk. Is if you were, a lot of people say, what's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
Look at your Mount Rushmore of referees. Look at your Mount Rushmore of managers. Look at your Mount Rushmore of announcers. Again, those are discussions there, but I got to tell you right now, Tommy Young, if he's not one in a lot of people's circles, he definitely needs to be like a 1 or a 1A.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. We are up against our very last break in this first hour of Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We are going to go ahead and take it, but when we come back, more from Superfan, more from HD, and more from our very special guest. He's getting inducted into the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame next weekend, on a week from today, actually. He is the one and only Luke Roberts, and we will be right back after this.
Yeah, get those social media posts.
Hi, everybody. This is News Radio KYRO Vice President and General Manager John Shepper, and I have a question for you. Have you ever considered hosting a foreign exchange student? If you haven't, perhaps the time is now. You can host a high school student from another country who lives with your family for 5 to 10 months, a new international branch for your family tree, and an opportunity to share your part of America with an international teenager. AYUSA has been connecting families around the world for over 30 years. A track record of trust with compassionate, engaged student leaders and personalized host family support. There's no typical family. No matter where you live or how your family is structured, there's a student waiting for a family like yours for a unique opportunity. Find out more by contacting the AYUSA local representative Tricia Schneidermeyer at 636-295-7224. Explore the wonderful opportunities that AYUSA has to offer, connecting families around the world for over 30 years.
Our military heroes deserve our thanks. Patriotic Hearts is there to assist those in need, especially in the transition back to family and civilian life. You can help by donating an unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van. Your donation supports the programs that make a difference in the lives of veterans and those actively serving our country. Call today for a fast, free pickup. Your donation will not only be greatly appreciated, but will also qualify as a tax deduction. Call 800-928-4966 to help our military heroes. Call 800-928-4966. Operators are standing by 24/7. Patriotic Hearts, helping our soldiers and veterans live a better life. Call 800-928-4966. That's 800-928-4966. Together, we can make a difference.
Veltima fungicide out-yields the competition by an average of 7 bushels per acre. But you've never been average. The only competition that really matters is you versus you. And with the performance of Veltima fungicide from BASF, you can take your best results even further. Beat your own record. Get every bushel you deserve. And make this your best season yet with Veltima fungicide from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy. Getting down to 66 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the mid-80s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the lower 90s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 80. In Wentzville it's 80 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Welcome back. Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We're live in the Gateway Fiber Studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. And of course, we have got a special guest this morning. He's going to be inducted into the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame next Sunday. He is the one and only Mr. Luke Roberts. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Luke.
Most definitely, Sergeant. Sarge, just to give you a heads up here, we're talking about being on KYRO 105.3 and 1280 AM. I want to go ahead, just because the super fan asked about it over the break, I want to call in my compatriot, another member of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame Board of Directors, Mr. John Doherty, up here in just a moment, because the idea of where we have been having the running yeet counter, and that does not count. I'm going to give you that. But as we talk about things here, just want to make sure, he says it's the peanut gallery, but John, come on in for just a second here. Do you have a running total on how many we have at this point in time?
Right now, the current standing total is 34 yeet.
That's 35, 36, 36 for this yeet.
So just want to make sure you're aware of that.
I don't think it's fair because you count one word.
Is it 4 on 1?
And 4 times I have to hear it. And it's just, where's the cotton balls when I need it?
Just look at the donut. That's all you need.
To put a smile on your face, though, Superfan.
No,
Emily Williams.
No, I saw it.
Tim Williams, I love you, Dad.
Uh-huh.
So there's your Father's Day message.
Yeah. Go ahead and put the last word up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, she didn't say yeet though. She just said, "Tim Williams, I love you, Dad."
But you know what the good thing is?
Scroll up.
Another message that's there that gets us closer and closer to those social media goals.
This is true.
25, and you get to see a picture of the super fan with the yeet donut. 50, he'll wear the glasses. And you know what? I was just thinking about this, HD. We got to find another incentive here because I know 25 is getting close. We might even get to see that near the top of the hour, but we might have to see. Tell your friends, tell your family, those who are listening here to KYRO, make sure, or those on social media, make it a point to put those messages out there because we want to make sure that the super fan remembers this episode of Uncensored Wrestling Talk. We really do.
Very, 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 very good. Very, very good. Also, I want to give a shout out to those that are over on Rumble that is watching. Carrie Positively Smith watching over there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And, again, join us with your questions and your comments, your nostalgia, if you will. And we'll get it out there. Chris LaVever on Facebook. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet!
Yeet.
You know something? You made a comment, and now everybody on the show is going to be talking about it. That's going to be probably the biggest comment of the entire show, is how many people can say yeet in this program today. 40 in an hour, and we're at 52 minutes. I wonder if there's a way that we can get to a yeet a minute over the course of this first hour.
Seriously?
That's 41. You said
yeet, 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 yeet.
There you go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So I think now we're at 50. Am I correct, John?
Yep.
All right, we're at 50. We're going to get there, but that's all right. Because like I said, at the end of the day, we want to say thank you to all of our listeners, too, because without you, this show does not achieve the successes that it has. I mean, again, we joke about things, about saying yeet or no yeet with the Superfan and with HD, but the fact is, that's what makes this show so entertaining, is the idea of where we can talk about pro wrestling, we can talk about the past, present, and the future. And you know, it's ironic that you're going to talk about that as it relates to 7 days from now, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2025. I know we're going to talk about that a little more later in the program, but when you sit down and look at it, you're having the opportunity to have the past and the future come together in the present.
For sure.
And that's one of those where having the opportunity to see all these inductees coming in and joining the class. Like I said, I think now it puts us at, if my numbers are correct, I believe with this class we're going to be at 56, 57 inductees. And they've been in existence since 2018. And it's going to be a really good class. And it's going to be a really great time. Tickets are still available. And by the way, you can't buy them with yeets. Even though there's Yeet Donuts here. Do we have a currency converter for Yeet Donuts?
I was just going to ask, what's the dollar to Yeet conversion?
It's got to be a pretty good conversion for those Yeets.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here, Mr. Superfan. There is no Yeet conversion table.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well,
time to make one.
but no, all kidding aside, though, I mean, again, it's one of those where it's going to be a great afternoon of professional wrestling history. A lot of great things are going to happen. I also want to give a shout out to our Master of Ceremonies, the one, the only Tyler Cooley, backed by popular demand. I mean, this man is nothing but jokes. I know that my fellow board member almost fell out his chair with some of the jokes he made live at the event. That in itself is probably going to be one of the highlights for many people, is just to see how he can honor history, but take those playful jabs at the Hall of Fame inductees and the inductors. And he promises, and I already got the message, he won't make fun of the Superfan, and he won't say yeet during at least the luncheon.
Well, some more comments coming in on the Facebook page.
Keep them coming.
Ashley Steinwagner Dick Hands says yeet.
That's Mrs. HD.
That's right. And then also Jimmy Harris Sr. says, can we yeet on with the show? Just saying. Just saying. Yeet.
So something that one per minute per hour. On the Hall of Fame, where's it at?
The Hall of Fame induction ceremony is at Andres Banquet Center, 4254 Telegraph Road in St. Louis, Missouri. I'll tell you right now, compared from last year, this year, the demand has been going. I'm going to level with you right now, being a member of the board. And John may want to chime in here a little bit too. If I'm not mistaken, I think we've sold 17 tickets today. It's becoming a real hot ticket here in the St. Louis area. We actually moved to the larger of the two banquet facilities, and we're getting fairly close to where you may not be able to get a ticket at the door. I mean, there have been a lot of people, countless promotions, countless fans too, that are going to be in attendance at this event. And I mean, again, if you need to buy your ticket, you can make it a point to go online. You can get all that information. We've got all the major cash.
Well, go ahead, put it out. Let the fans know
let's see here.
Where you can
and,
go.
And John, I know I'm going to miss some here. You can contact us through the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame Facebook account. We have Cash App. We have PayPal. We have Venmo. We have. Am I missing some here? But so you have that, and also
paying Yeet Donuts.
61. And again, to give you an idea,
what is that? The third or fourth time he said
third
that
one.
Hey, it's.
I'm strickling this whole episode from the books after today.
Well, when you sit there and look at it, though, I mean, again, the class itself is good. And actually, I want to go ahead real quick here. And if you want to go ahead and you're old school, like a lot of us are, and you want to go ahead and actually purchase your ticket over the phone, you can do so as well. Again, it's going to be a great time, and we'll make sure here right at the top, right at the end of the hour, and again later on in the show to make sure we have that telephone number for you as well. So if you want to be old school and buy your tickets over the phone, just like you used to be able to do back in the day and go in person, we can make sure we can make that happen for you.
Very cool. Speaking of which, we've got about 2.5 minutes before we do go to the top of the hour break. HD,
yeah,
you look like you've got something on your mind, my friend.
I just have a question for Luke over here, and then I have a couple comments. What does it mean to you, Luke, to go into the Hall of Fame? We've been talking about your career, what you've done, but get sentimental. Like, what does it mean to you to...
Is he going to have enough time to answer this? Because that sounds like that one's going to be... And rightfully so. It should be a long answer. So maybe we hold on to that one.
We can hold on to that one.
I just... beginning of the next hour.
I've known Luke since the beginning of HD's existence. There would be no HD, literally the name HD, without Luke.
Wow.
And I've heard, he talks about his experience and all of his knowledge and everything. He very rarely gets sentimental about what it means to him. So I wanted to get that out of him here on the show.
Well, first of all, thank you for the question, HD. And again, that might be something we look at the top of the hour, and we really kind of start diving into the individual for the Hall of Fame. And yeah, I might get sentimental. I may need a tissue. I want to make sure I don't cry over the Yeet donut, because I know we're getting close to the point where that picture is going to be taking place. But I mean, again, it's one of those where to kind of wrap up the first hour, my wife made a comment to me a few days ago, and it really stuck with me. I'm always one, as H, says, I'm going 100 miles an hour all the time, whether it's helping referees or setting things up or running errands or whatever the case may be. But it really is, it's now starting to hit home a little bit, because a lot of times you don't get that opportunity to sit back and really smell the roses, as they say, get your flowers, and to be in the Hall of Fame, it really kind of hasn't totally sunk in yet. Coming here today to KYRO is definitely the first step, that road. And again, all the men, the women, the referees, the wrestlers, the managers, you name it. It's going to be hard to get a very concise speech down. As HT knows, I can talk for 45 minutes and not even breathe. But again, if you want to come out and you want to experience pro wrestling history and see all these great names, we're going to talk about a lot of those names here in the second hour. Andres Banquet Center, 4254 Telegraph Road, St. Louis, Missouri. You can go on social media. Again, phone number 314-215-1481. Make sure you purchase your tickets. Again, they're moving very fast, and again, it's going to be a great afternoon of pro wrestling, and we're going to talk a lot more about that in hour two.
Very awesome. So we're going to go ahead and jump it to the top of the hour, and we'll be right back in about 6 minutes or so.
Program dismantled. That's our end game.
President Trump predicting peace between Israel and Iran is imminent, posting on social media that many meetings and phone calls are now underway. The nation's capital celebrated the Army's 250th anniversary with a big parade yesterday. Anti-Trump rallies were held in several cities. One person critically hurt during a shooting at a protest in Salt Lake City. And several officers were injured at an ICE detention facility after rioters broke into it last evening. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
U.S. Air Force Technical Sergeant Jesse Clark's military service came to an end after a chemical exposure caused a large tumor to form in his brain. As a result, he is paralyzed on the left side of his body, legally blind, prone to memory loss, and in a wheelchair. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation built this hero a new smart home to help him live a more independent life. Help heroes like Jesse Clark. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report. Stocks tumbled and oil prices surged after Israel launched strikes against Iran's nuclear program and military leaders, and as Iran retaliates. The major averages were on track for weekly gains coming into Friday's trading session, but ended the week in the red, snapping a 3-week winning streak. Energy was the only gainer among the 11 S&P 500 sectors as oil prices soared to their highest level since January. Defense sector stocks like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin advanced. However, travel stocks, including airlines and cruise operators, were among the biggest decliners. Gold prices rose with the precious metal trading over $3,400 a troy ounce. When there's high amounts of uncertainty, investors like to put their money into safe assets. The Dow down 770 points, the Nasdaq lower by 256, S&P 500 down 68. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
I'm Emily Campagno, host of the Fox True Crime Podcast. This week, Pulitzer Prize-winning author Caroline Fraser joins me to discuss the cultural and environmental factors that shaped America's era of serial killers.
Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com.
I'm Dana Perino. This week on Perino on Politics, I'm joined by Stephen Law.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
Or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's commercial property and development expert Rick Meyer.
Oh, it's been a great family business. My dad started the company, and we have been in business a long time. And really what keeps us in business, I think, is just working with our good customers and clients and the relationships that we're able to build. It's really important to us, our agents, to build that relationship, but provide the service to this your local community.
We are the #1 stop in the region for buying and selling residential, commercial, and farm real estate. We've been serving the area for more than 40 years, and we do it with pride.
You can reach us at and look at all our properties at MeyerListings.com. You can also call us at 636-462-5555.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at MeyerListings.com.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Isaac Lowenkron.
In the NBA, ESPN reports that the Memphis Grizzlies are trading Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round draft picks, and 1 first-round pick swap. In Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final on Saturday night, the Florida Panthers won at Edmonton 5-2 for a 3-2 lead. Brad Marchand scored 2 goals for Florida, becoming the first player to score at least 5 goals in a Stanley Cup Final for 2 different teams. Game 6 on Tuesday at Florida. And in golf, after 3 rounds of the U.S. Open, Sam Burns has a 1-shot lead at 4 under par overall over Adam Scott, who is at 3 under par. Burns and Scott will tee off the final round at 2:15 Eastern.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy. Getting down to 66 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the mid-80s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the lower 90s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 80. In Wentzville it's 80 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Uncensored Wrestling Talk Hour number 2. It begins right now. We are live inside the Gateway Fiber studio of News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM KYRO. Of course, also on our many different platforms, the radio station's Facebook page, Traveling East Productions Facebook and Rumble. Go like and subscribe. Uncensored Wrestling Talk Facebook page. So many different ways to watch and interact with us. And of course, the video broadcast of the show here on KYRO is brought to you in partnership with Traveling East Productions and made possible by Blue Line Lawn Care and Landscaping, Original Crow Feather Crystal Healing Jewelry, Pickle on the Run, and Country State of Mind Designs. Go check those awesome businesses out on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And I got to tell you, HD, it is really hard to talk with your mouth watering after you've taken a few bites of a donut.
Oh, what kind of donut, Sarge?
A yeet
donut.
And ladies and gentlemen, for those who'd like to know, I want to go ahead and bring our wonderful broadcast colleague and member of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame Board of Directors, John Doherty, with the updated yeet count.
We are currently at 64 yeets and counting.
Does that count with the one that you just said?
Yes.
So it's 65. And of course, the voice that you heard just a moment ago, he is going to be inducted into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame next Sunday afternoon. He is the one and only, the incomparable Luke Roberts.
I'm thankful this is not a spelling lesson because I could never have spelled incomparable. So for you to be able to say that for me, I very much appreciate it. But now we're in hour number 2. We've talked about a lot of pro wrestling. And guys, I want to go ahead and kind of spin things here a little bit. A lot of people talk about professional wrestling, and I know I joked about it a little bit earlier, but in all sincerity, worlds collide. I know that's been just a few short days ago. I really would like to get your thoughts on the event because it's not too often, unless you have like Pluto or Roku or Apple TV or things like that, that you get to see Lucha Libre. And I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts because, I mean, again, it's a different style. It's a different point of view. And me personally, I enjoyed it. I really think that Vikingo and Chad Gable were a great match. I think pretty much everything was phenomenal. And gentlemen, I want to kind of bounce that one around here before we start talking Hall of Fame.
Sipper Van, I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It showed and it reminded me of the other style. You kind of get, whether you call it American, European, or whatever style they have out there. Sitting down and watching that, and just the crowd was incredible. I mean, being on the side, that's really what I watch a lot now is the crowd, to see how they're reacting to stuff. And the crowd was incredible. The action was incredible. The moves are incredible. And you're right, I like the iguana guy now.
He's like sarcastically over now.
Yeah.
When I watch Lucha Libre, I guess I'll counter the good things with a little bit of bad things because I don't know if it's bad things, but the indie style of the modern era was kind of adopted from Lucha Libre with the flippies and the floppies and the stuff like that. And now it's come in the spotties, and now it's come full circle that Lucha Libre itself is 100% that. So, is it cool? Is it fun? Is it pro wrestling? Yeah, but it's like, well, I see this every week on AEW, so they're gonna have to do. I think they're gonna have to do something different.
Shot across the bow at AEW.
Well, Sarge, like I said, we've heard from everybody on this side of the table. Let's get your thoughts.
Hold on, though, Sarge. AEW is my favorite show of the week.
Yeah. Well,
so I was not taking a shot at them.
That's several weeks in the running now for you.
Right.
And just to let you know, I'm gonna counter that for HD. It's his number 2 show of the week, only followed by WLW Television.
Wow.
See, this guy's in media. Wow. Can you tell?
Wow. Very cool.
I'm not going that far. I mean, look at you're representing WLW as you walk into the studio here today. I mean, again, WLW is a great program here in the listenership, and make it a point to catch them when you can on television. I mean, again, they got a lot of great wrestling action. NWA World League Wrestling. Again, I really kind of feel sad that Camaro Jackson not the WLW heavyweight champion any longer. Do I see him potentially getting that championship back? I see it down the road. But the other thing I want to look at too, and again, this is kind of throwing it out there as well, talking a little WLW, is now that the championship's no longer around his waist, is it going to be a matter of time before we start seeing him in other NWA promotions?
That's interesting.
The Quad Father is, again, HG and I have had countless matches with him inside the famed Squared Circle, and I'm going to tell you right now, the man is a phenomenal in-ring competitor, and, I mean, again, if he can get that opportunity, he can go to places. Shout out to my good friends over at NWA Duke City Championship Wrestling out in New Mexico. I know that several of their management have been regularly following WLW, NWA Crossfire, among other affiliates as well. Could it be just a matter of time before Camaro Jackson really starts stepping up to the next level with the NWA? His reign as NWA WLW champion has definitely opened some eyes across the country.
Very cool. Well, before I let you know about my thoughts on AAA, from Jimmy Harris Sr., well, let's up this yeet count by 10 for this yeet and the other yeets that come up.
Now I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that does put us dangerously close to our first social media quota of 25 yeets, or 25 comments equals one yeet donut in the Superfans future.
Yeah, very, very much so.
And you'll be able to get that on all forums of Uncensored Wrestling Talk Radio's social media accounts. Again, make it a point to, when that happens, share it with all your friends and family, because, again, that shows you the dedication that the Superfan has to the world of professional wrestling and all of those that believe in the, I got to come up with a cool word the next hour, but in the Yeet Revolution, I guess is what we'll call it.
There you go. I like that. Yeet Revolution. So, with AAA and the Lucha Libre, to be honest, when it was first announced that WWE had purchased AAA, I was like, okay, this is going to put it on a platform for the whole world to get to see this awesome wrestling that only really a few of us have really truly watched it on a regular basis because it's so doggone good. Your casual fan out there really has no clue, honestly, to be blunt about it, no clue what AAA is all about. But the thing that I was worried the most about was it was only going to be on YouTube. And I'm sure you've seen many things on YouTube where the production value just wasn't there. So with and even though WWE was going to be doing it and putting it on YouTube, I was still worried about that factor because of that simple fact that, it was going to be for everyone's eyes to see around the world at the same time. Now, afterwards, after watching it, after seeing it, I'm glad to say that I was wrong in worrying about it. Now, I think going forward, I think they should put it on Peacock. I think that's the platform that they need to do. I think they need to do a weekly show with that. But as far as the action that was going on during Worlds Collide, tremendous action. It shows why, really honestly, for those out there watching and listening that are new to the game, and even those that have been watching for a very, very long time, it shows why AAA has been so high up there with their quality of professional wrestling. Is it a different style? Absolutely, 100%. But it's just like in the real world, right? There's diversity everywhere that you turn your head, and there's nothing wrong with diversity. You've got NJPW, strong style. You've got CMLL and AAA, the Lucha Libre, high flying, in your face type style. You've got AEW, which is, a running show for HD being the best show in the land, for
after
several
WLW
weeks.
television.
Thank you. It's just I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good. I'm glad that I was wrong in the production part of it. But moving forward, though, I want to see them do more with it. I want to see it be put on a pedestal that it hasn't been given to this point yet.
Well, one thing too, Sarge, to look at here, I know we're going to be coming up here real soon on our next break. One of the things we're going to be looking at too is the idea 1 million people on YouTube. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
1 million people tuning in. And I think it's actually more of a diversification of a lot of things, because not only do you have that, but you also have the Evolve product, which is really starting more not on YouTube, but more on Tubi. Again, there's a lot of other avenues. I think the WWE is really trying to, I think it's more of a get it streamlined, get it ready to go, so that whenever it's where they truly want it, then they have this monster amount of current product to go along with. And one of the things I've always said, and again, this is where super fans actually going to agree with me, is we need to see a lot more world class. We need to see a lot more mid-Atlantic. We need to see a lot more of Mid-South. We need to see a lot more of Power Pro. We need to see stuff from like in Portland and a lot more AWA stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things that the WWE and TKO have not even scratched the surface on when it comes to Peacock.
Well, think of all the invasion angles you could really pull with the more and more independence you have underneath you. You throw it, and you could even go to Survivor Series, and now Survivor Series actually means something.
That is true. That is very true. And like I said, we got a lot of promotions to talk about. That's just like we're going to talk about with the Hall of Fame here right after we get back from the break.
Yep, absolutely. And with that being said, 45-second break coming up. Actually, let me see this. It is 15:30. It's going to be a 59-second break on this one. So let's go ahead and take that now. Gives us more time to speak more with Luke Roberts here on the show, and we'll be right back.
New and used firearms, gun repair, and all types of outdoor accessories on Main Street in downtown Winfield. Black Flag Outfitters. Check us out on Facebook or stop by at 203 Main Street in Winfield. 636-358-0992.
Help provide for families in need with food items during Menards Food Drive. Simply head to Menards. Place non-perishable food items in the collection bin by our exit doors. And that's it. All donations will be given to a local organization representing your community to help those in need. Head to Menards to help your community today. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Award-winning severe weather coverage when it counts. 24/7 from News Radio 105.3, 1280 AM. Powered by the Quiver River Electric Cooperative, a Touchtone Energy cooperative. Depend on it.
Well, welcome back, Uncensored Wrestling Talk.
Gosh.
Ooh, goodness. I tell you, it's been said here in this station, you know, sometimes some of the greatest conversations happen on a break, and we just had one of those because we were speaking about the comments that have been going on Facebook.
Hey, Sarge, I apologize to interrupt you here. The great writer Shakespeare had a great statement. To be or not to be? That is the question. Yeah. But if you've been following the comments on social media, I think we have found something that rivals that.
For sure. Of course, first, shout out to Teresa McGarry Keller. And she says, one word, 4 letters, yeet. But this one with an exclamation point at the end of it.
That makes it extra. That's true.
Jimmy Harris Sr., the yeet, you say? And then he also chimes in with yeet or not to yeet. That is the question.
Not to.
No, the answer is always to yeet.
Not to.
To eating is so cool. It's so fun. It makes your spirit better.
Yeah, okay.
Makes you just live better.
Let the grumpiness go. Just let it go, superfan.
Hey, you know, I was in a really good mood when Jay lost his title. Now you guys put me in a bad mood today.
No, I'm going to go ahead and save it here for you, superfan, and the idea that we just went from Shakespeare and Sarge just went to Frozen. So let's go from there. But no, like I said, again, that's one of the great things about radio is the idea of where all the great commentaries after you've gone live. I mean, it really truly is a great experience here, just like it's going to be a great experience next Sunday at Andres Banquet Center for the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
And we're going to talk about that some more here in just a second. But also on the Facebook, Nikki O'Shaughnessy, Jimmy Harris Sr., dad jokes all around, laughing out loud. I love it. I love it. I love it. Every bit of it. Yourself inducted next Sunday. Who else is going to be inducted into this Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame?
Well, right now we have 12 announced names. And again, it's going to be kind of hard to talk about myself in the third person, so I may have to turn that over to HD here in a bit. But I do want to take a few minutes here and look at some of the names that are going to be going in. The first one I want to bring up is a gentleman who's been known as a native nightmare, Jeremy Lightfoot, a man 25 plus years in the wrestling industry, known for his 88 variants of the Lightfoot driver. Thankfully, I've never been on the receiving end of it. Again, it's always spelled victory for him. I don't think anybody, and I think my fellow board member John can say, I don't think anybody's ever kicked out of the Lightfoot driver. Am I correct, John?
You are incorrect, because I am one of the people that kicked out of a Lightfoot driver.
Ooh.
We might hear some more stories about that at the Hall of Fame this week. But again, Jeremy Lightfoot, countless championships. I think he's pushing 36 over the course of his career. Wow. Countless promotions, including UWA, RCW, Mid-America Extreme, MMWA, CHWA, countless promotions. Just a phenomenal in-ring competitor. The other one here, and this is where I'm actually going to tag out to my fellow board member, because the next man we're going to talk about is Ace Strange. And the gentleman who's joining us here in studio, the official Yeet counter for the day, and that one does count, Superfan, is the idea of where this man here had a lot of knowledge about our next inductee, because in all honesty, he was running buddies with him. I mean, he was a part of the Foreplay faction. As a matter of fact, without stealing any of his thunder, next Sunday, he actually has the task of inducting Ace Strange into the Hall of Fame. So, John, I know you just got comfortable again. You had to get the Yeet total updated. But can you share a little bit about our next inductee, Ace Strange?
For those counting at home, we are at 87 Yeets and counting.
And 27 comments on the Facebook page.
And 27 comments, so we are definitely getting a Yeet donut picture. We're going for the glasses now, folks. Come on, keep them coming. And Ace Strange he's like Luke said, he's like a brother to me. He's someone, when I came in the business, could match my energy, could match my passion, and it's a true honor to just be able to induct my fellow brother into the Hall of Fame.
And one thing, too, I got to say this, is that when it comes down to it, the biggest discussion I've heard road stories about when it comes to Ace Strange and it comes to John Daugherty is who had the better hair. That was the one I was looking at. And again, I saw a picture, and I got to tell you, this man right here really had some pretty cool hairstyles. But when it comes down to it, Ace is kind of, he's always been a little bit on edge.
Right. Ace let it fly. He didn't care. He would come out with a mohawk sometimes. He would come out head shaved sometimes. He wins the hair contest hands down. I just let mine grow out. He made it a fashion statement.
No, you made it a fashion statement, because at times it had kind of that 80s hairband style. Yeah, the 80s hairband without the hairspray. So, but like I said, Ace Strange going in the Hall of Fame. Another thing that makes the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame stand out is the fact that we do have some special awards, and one of the first ones I want to talk about is the Jerry Bullion Award. Now, for those that are familiar in the St. Louis professional wrestling community, Jerry Bullion not only was a longtime fan of the independents in the St. Louis area, but he was also very knowledgeable. And this year, it's our honor and privilege to induct Peggy Minder. Peggy, I actually saw last night at an event at the MMWA, and she will tell you exactly how it is. If you're a good guy, she'll give you a hug, she'll give you a high five, she might even buy you a hot dog. But if you're a bad guy, she will not let you live it down. I heard that somebody had told her, and I'm just going to kind of break the wall here a little bit, is that she had a couple people that she really wanted to induct her into the Hall of Fame. And I just want to let you know, Peggy, if you're listening to the program, no, the rumor you heard is not true. Big Vic is not inducting you in the Hall of Fame. I want to put you at ease. He is not inducting you into the Hall of Fame. But I will tell you this, the individual who is going to be inducting you in the Hall of Fame is somebody that you're going to be very much surprised. And I think it's going to be something you're going to enjoy. But again, Peggy Mender, a very big part of this year's Hall of Fame class.
Very cool. H.D. Daniels, last week we started up something very, very special on another platform.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody all about that one real quick?
So we started a new Discord server. Discord is an app that you can get, or you can go just on your computer, and it's basically a chat room. Free to join, no cost, and if you want to, we would love it if you would just join us. I put a link in our comments. Instead of talking to us during the show, you can talk to us anytime, 24/7.
There you go.
We're in there. We talk about wrestling during the shows live, and we just have fun with each other throughout the week. So click that link, join our Discord server, tell everybody that you know. Trying to help make our show grow and interact with our fans.
Absolutely, and that's for not just the wrestling fans, but for our wrestling brethren as well, and for all of us to come together and make it a true community. And you know what? That's one that I haven't really seen being taken over on is Discord. So you know what? We might as well go ahead and take Discord over too.
The other nice thing about Discord, there's several different chat lines too.
Yeah.
There's
true.
AEW, there's WWE. There's a bad party one in there, and so Monday nights I'm definitely on it. So
yeah, you're definitely on there on Monday nights.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
several.
not as knowledgeable about it. But can you go back to that HT for just a second here? I just want to look at it. He was bringing up WWE, AEW, TNA, NWA, WLW, the Independents, which again, this is one of the great things about our show. And of course, everybody has to go and make it a point to go to the Superfans' favorite Discord network, that being Yeet Party. Right there is a part of the Discord server. Now then, the next one.
I'm not the owner of the Discord server. That's why I can't cancel that one.
Well, like I said, we've got, now we're going to get away from the Yeets for just a minute. The next one works for me. Now, as we're looking at things here, we do need to talk about, and this is one that I think the only person I've ever seen be able to talk about themselves in the third person is Simon Diamond, Pat Kenny.
Yeah.
I know I can't do it. But as you said earlier on, Sarge, I am an inductee. I want to go ahead real quick here and pass this over to HD and to John both, because sometimes I sit there and I think to myself, how did I get here? I really do, because I've always been one of those where I make it a point that it doesn't matter whether you've been in the wrestling industry a day or you've been in the wrestling industry for 40, 50 years. I always try to make it a point to be in contact with people, and I just want to pass it to them, because it just kind of feels weird saying something about yourself. It really is.
I have an idea. I would love to speak on your behalf. Let's go through everybody else, and we'll do you at the end.
Okay, so does that mean I'm being we're postponing me because of Yeet? Okay.
It could very well Yeet be.
That's true. There's a new Beatles song too. Let it yeet, let it yeet. Okay, now
go
we're
ahead and jump through the rest of the inductees real quick, and then HD, you have yours. But I have 3 more questions that I want to get to with you before we end the show in 30 minutes.
Most definitely here. We got Doc Lombardi. He's a very accomplished manager, longtime personality, nearing 30 years in the wrestling industry as well. The next one on the list is the John Blackheart Award. For those that are familiar in the St. Louis area, John Blackheart, triple tough. I don't go with the double tough like the E says. Doug O'Shea is one of those that when he gets in a ring, you're going to be in for a fight. And just to let you know, I know he's been in there. He's had countless injuries. He's had his neck broken in the ring. But his biggest foe is Meatloaf. I don't understand that. He's had a lot of problems with that over the years. But again, to see Doug O'Shea going into the Hall of Fame, again, ironically, one of the things when he found out he was going in, he was talking about how his first tag team partner was me, and I'd totally forgotten about it because of the number of years I had been in wrestling. Another one, the Human Wrecking Ball, Pete Madden. Now, I got to share this story. I mean, Pete Madden can wrestle a broomstick and a mop and make the mop and the broomstick versus him look like a main event at WrestleMania. The story I got to share, I think this was a little before HD's time, but not a lot. It was Dynamo Pro's 5-year anniversary in tribute to GCW, and they had a GCW Rumble. And at one point, Pete Madden was left alone with a legitimate competitor, the associate of one Johnny Greenpeace, Tree. As in a legitimate tree with the bucket or the basket, the whole nine. And Pete Madden put a figure 1 on Tree, and the crowd was eating it up. And I'll tell you this, being live, Tree almost eliminated Pete Madden.
Wow.
So again, that shows you how much dedication to it. But I mean, again, same token too, first man to ever be in an exploding ring match here in the St. Louis area against the late Big Bad Ben. Great in-ring competitor, hands down one of my favorite wrestlers to see over the course of my career. Steve Sharp, many people know him now as Bishop Stevens, has taken his wrestling career, spent time in WLW, I believe was first WLW champion, moved on to WCW for a cup of coffee. Now moved on to television and movies. Again, I think he's had a recurring role on Empire for at least a season. Great man.
Nice.
Scary. I don't know if there's a lot of shirts that fit him because he's just so big. He's one of those that spends 4 or 5 days in the gym and just does nothing but make himself even a bigger superstar than he is. And again, when it comes into it, Steve Sharp, great addition to the Hall of Fame. Frank Reed, a name that's known around here a lot in this area. 40 plus years as a promoter, commentator, recently passed away about a little less than a year ago. And again, Frank Reed never had a bad thing to say. One of his claims to fame was being able to give an opportunity for Glenn Jacobs, known in the WWE as Kane, to get his start in the professional wrestling industry. Ed Smith, known for the Wrestling at the Chase era, well known as a referee, a commentator, wrestler, you name it. Ed Smith's done a ton in the wrestling industry. And, of course, I would be remiss without talking about Mischief. Again, what more can I say? The woman whose scream makes me run away in sheer terror. Again, I have never had a match where I haven't felt like I needed to run away and keep running for days, because if I turn around, she'd be like one of those, not extraterrestrials, but like one of those like spirits or phantoms or whatever, be right behind me and scare me to death. But I mean, again, phenomenal in-ring competitor, and again, from top to bottom, this year's class really has been one, and a big shout out to the board for this year's class. It's really going to be one for the history books.
Now, real quick, from the Facebook feed, Jimmy Harris Sr., I may have to come up with a Yeet Award for the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. And then also, Trisha McGarry Williams, first and foremost, thank you so much for the donuts. These are absolutely awesome and delicious. She says, 4 words, live and let yeet.
You know,
that one pops me huge.
You know, we got to come up with a. That's one of the we need to put out there on the Discord server. Can we come up with a Yeet album?
Ooh.
The idea of how can we take songs and turn them into, like I said, we got Let It Yeet, Live and Let Yeet. We're gonna have to figure that out before too much longer. So
here comes the Yeet.
That's true. That is true.
Oh yeah, we need to definitely. We'll get that started in the Yeet Party chat room. Let's go ahead and get as many songs as you can think of. Put the word Yeet instead of one. There we go.
All right. Well, like I said, we're going to go. HD, you're trying to take the microphone away from me. I know this is a first. In all the years I've known him, he's known, don't take a microphone away from me, and also don't take a donut away from me, because I don't miss many meals. But like I said, HD, I know we still got to talk about one more inductee, and I kind of feels weird, but I'm going to hand the mic to you, and I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to promise not to cry.
All right. So, the last person we have to talk about for the St. Louis Hall of Fame is the man to my right here, Luke Roberts, our special guest today. Yeet. Yeet. You know, a couple months ago, Luke sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, dude, I'm going into the St. Louis Hall of Fame." I was like, freaking congratulations. I was sincerely, genuinely happy for you. And about a month later or so, you're like, would you mind making a video? And I think you sugarcoated it a little bit. You were like, can you make could you make a video of anyone that you would prefer for the St. Louis Hall of Fame, like a promo package to put in their induction video? And I was like, Luke, you know darn well I don't know any of these people besides you. So he said, if you feel like it, make a video. So I made I was gonna post it after the ceremony, but some of the things that I said in the video in tribute to you was, although my knowledge in the indie wrestling scene in St. Louis is only about 5 years now, but if there was someone that I could choose to put in the Hall of Fame, for my own personal Hall of Fame, for HD's Hall of Fame, you would be number one. There would literally, and I'm not kidding, the name HD, my working name, would not exist without him. He called me up one day, and he, through training, Luke would show up. He would give me critiques because he was a referee too. I got to know the promoter a little bit through. I was working the camera and going to training and things like that. And Luke just kept telling me on the side, "I'm gonna get you in the ring. You just have to trust me. It's gonna take some time. He's not ready for you to be in there yet, but I know you're ready, and we're gonna get you in there." And he calls me one day. I remember exactly where I was. "You're working tomorrow." Like, are you kidding me? And then the next question is, "What's your name gonna be?" Like, I have a very German name. It's not exactly the best thing that you can announce or put on paper, so we were trying to come up with different names. The name HD Daniels is a play on my real name, and I love my ring name that him and I came up with. We came up with a few different ideas on what it could be. My name HD really stands out. I've noticed people remember it, and that it literally would not exist without Luke. So once the first match happened, I wouldn't be here on this radio show today. I wouldn't work at WLW. I wouldn't have got to go to OVW, travel the country, if he wasn't my advocate to get that very, very first match.
Very awesome.
So he's in the HD Hall of Fame. I don't care about the other Hall of Fames. Congratulations on the St. Louis Hall of Fame.
Very, very cool.
But yeah, I'm so happy for you. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. You've asked me many times. I'll be out of town. But
now, I will say this. For Uncensored Wrestling Talk, we've had some folks that have been in studio with us 3 or 4 times. Namely, I'm not doing it because my hand has been twisted behind my back.
HD Daniels and the Superfan?
No.
The Sarge?
Skylar Sparks and All Day Aiden Riley, they've got the most appearances on, with us. However, I'm going to say this. The most fun guest that we have had on this show since we started this show, almost, over half a decade now, has been the one and only Mr. Luke Robertson. So thank you so much for coming in. We really, even though it's been almost 2 hours now, we really have barely scratched the surface on everything. So, I just want to say, first off, thank you for coming in, but I hope that in the very near future we'll be able to have you back again so we can continue this awesome dialogue that's been going on.
Well, Sarge, I got to say thank you for that. And also, like I said, maybe next time, instead of having 1 Yeet donut, we need to have a dozen Yeet donuts. Ooh. And that would be there. And then we could have an eating challenge for every time we get 10 Yeets, you can eat a Yeet donut. But something, when we come back, I think we got one more break still to go before we wrap things up here. I'm going to tell you the truth. A Wrestling Talk, a Wrestling Uncensored Talk exclusive of how HD came into existence right here after the break. I don't think I've ever shared this story with him, so it's going to be kind of a surprise when we get back here here in that final segment.
Very cool. And with that being said, we will go ahead and take our final break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. More with next week's inductee into the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, the one and only Luke Roberts, and we'll be right back right after this.
We love Costco for its great deals and excellent service. When it comes to hearing aids, Costco offers quality options at a reasonable price, starting at $14.99 per pair. What if you could get nearly invisible, high-quality hearing aids and save? With MD Hearing, you can.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sandra Porps, Head of Audiology at MD Hearing. Our FDA-registered rechargeable hearing aids start at just $297 per pair. That's a fraction of what you'd spend at Costco. And just like the service you know and trust at Costco, MD Hearing has licensed hearing professionals to ensure you get the perfect fit and sound. With over 2 million hearing aids sold, MD Hearing has been helping people just like you hear better and save for more than 15 years. Plus, every pair comes with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and a money-back guarantee.
Call 800-970-1676 now to try MD Hearing risk-free for 45 days. That's 800-970-1676. 800-970-1676.
So today we're taking a walking tour of AGS Automotive Service and 636cars.com. Albert the Great's Service, Salvage, and Sales is what they call it, and it's the largest car dealership and repair facility south of Winfield and north of Bob's Creek on Highway 79. Albert, what do you got going on today?
Oh, today we're doing struts on one truck. We're doing an oil pan on the other that somebody had a snowbank with. We're doing suspension on a Chrysler 200 and heater hoses on a car that somebody just ran the coolant out of because it's too much work to put coolant in a car when you run it out.
All that in one day?
And more.
So what if somebody wants to get their car, truck, or go-kart in for service at AGS Auto?
636-566-6997.
And the best used cars in
southeastern Lower Lincoln County, north of Bob's Creek.
That's 636cars.com. Any specials this week?
All the white ones are at cost.
There you have it, and there you are. AGS Automotive, south on 79, southeastern Lower Lincoln County's #1 for auto repair and great used cars.
Southeastern Lower Lincoln County, north of Bob's Creek.
Come by and see us today.
The Wrecking Crew.
What do you guys do here?
We recycle. Our typical business is picking up stuff that nobody else can get.
People may have a lot of money laying in their property and they just don't realize it.
They do. A lot of money sometimes, and not where you would think it would be.
Where are you located?
Troy, Winfield, Vandalia, Missouri. And we do boxes, trailers. We cut stuff up on site. We do insurance work. Farmers, if you have a burnt building or wind damaged building or grain bin, that's our specialty.
How do they get a hold of you?
Call me personally or call the office.
The Wrecking Crew. 636-462-1727.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Overcast clouds in Troy. Getting down to 66 overnight tonight. Monday's high will be in the mid-80s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the lower 90s forecast on Tuesday. Currently in Troy it's 80. In Wentzville it's 80 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground? Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Let me pump that bumper music down because we've only got about 15 minutes left here on the show. Uncensored Wrestling Talk. Hope that you all have enjoyed the show because I know I certainly have. You know, real quick, we were talking about our Discord channel HD, and Mr. Roberts, you were talking about us getting an album put together with the word yeet in it, and some suggestions have been rolling in, you know, and I'm, you know who you are, so live and let yeet. We didn't yeet the fire. I feel like someone is yeeting me. Yeet it. Yeeting through life. Highway to the yeet zone. You are the yeet of my life. Yeet in the name of love. Live like you're yeeting. Yeet it up. Kiss version for you youngsters.
And of course, Sarge, you got to put it this way: that is the crowning piece of the album. Happy Yeet Day.
Absolutely. Serious question here for you, Mr. Roberts. You have done and seen so much in the world of professional wrestling since you were 10 years old. Mm-hmm. For those that want to get into the world of professional wrestling and become a wrestler, for those that want to be a referee, for those that want to be a commentator, your advice for those three questions wrapped up in one.
All right. Well, first of all, is the idea of you've got to get to a training school. That's a given. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I started in the backyard, or I did this, I did that." get to a reputable school, get somebody who has some knowledge that can pass it on. That's one of the things that HG and I talk about a lot, is the idea of paying it forward and the idea of the things we've learned being taken to the next generation. Number 2, don't settle. You always got to be learning. A wise man who's I've talked with countless times, learned from the late Ed Smith. You get 2 ears, 1 mouth. And a lot of times you're going to be a lot better off listening than talking.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. And then 3 is the idea of have fun. I mean, there have been countless, again, I could tell all sorts of road stories that, again, I could take a whole episode. But, there's been so many trips I've taken, so many things that I've experienced. Like, I'll kind of tease things here for those in Radio Land. Having an opportunity, as I said, being with IWA Mid-South, was the idea of refereeing a match between Tyler Black, Seth Rollins, and Jimmy Jacobs. And the building not being completely intact after their match. And they were the first match on the show. The likes of
Heck of a match to have to follow.
Ricky Cruz and Jake Durden in Dynamo Pro, where they went through a wall of the venue down at the Stratford Bar and Grill.
Oh, my.
The one
the
where
owners were not happy about that one.
Wrestling on a show, traveling 6 hours to Chicago, and having about a dozen tired, hungry wrestlers all invade a Cracker Barrel. Or not Cracker Barrel, an Old Country buffet. Again, that's a scary thing at 9 o'clock in the morning. But again, there are a lot of great stories. But again, you got to understand when you're in pro wrestling that the pay is not always going to be great. The travel's going to stink. It's not like in the WWE where a lot of times you travel 200-300 miles, you rest up, you do what you got to do, and then maybe every 3 or 4 days you got to take a plane or whatnot. HD can tell you, Sarge, you can talk about it too, is the idea. There's a lot of times where you're spending 2-3 hours in a car and you get those handful of people, like, for me, that's a Chris Rodell, that's a Patrick Brandmeier, that's a Justin Wade, that's a Webmaster Stevie K, that's Renee Martinez, that's a CJ Nacello, that's a Ace Hawkins, being able to be in, that's an HD Daniels. The idea of being in a car and just traveling and enjoying life, because wrestling's a family. And again, you there's moments where we don't always agree. But at the end of the day, I know that when it comes down to it, HD is going to be a better referee because of what I've seen. I'm going to be a better referee because of the things he's seen. It's one of those where we're a family and we all learn from each other.
For sure, 100%. HC? Your also last thoughts on the career that this man has had.
I just think that I've never met a single person that has a bad thing to say about this guy. Like, not one. Like, you might run into somebody and they're like, hey, he's a great guy, but watch him because, blah, blah, blah. No one ever does that with Luke. And just congratulations, because I know it means a lot to you, even if you... Hopefully you get sentimental in your induction speech, but I know it means a lot to you because...
I could get sentimental still here. We got time on the program this afternoon, HT.
Just flat out congratulations, because you mean a lot to me, and I know you mean a lot to a lot of other people around here.
And we also mean a lot to those that are following us on social media. And again, we're getting close to those numbers, Superfan.
We are.
We're getting too close. Say, my question is, which set of glasses are better? The ones that he's wearing or these? The Yeet glasses that are available right here that you're going to be hopefully wearing once we get done with today's show.
We've got about 9 minutes left in the show. Jump on the Facebook and interact with us and let us know what you think real quick. We got to get that number up. Every once in a while, I like to jump into the old dirt sheets and discuss what they're talking about. And so this very first one is a very interesting one to me. When it comes to the American Gladiators reboot, the Wrestling Observer newsletter heard about issues from one side over Miz being on the show and AEW talent being on the show that I'm sure the folks at Gladiators never considered. I think it's a great thing that you've got talent from both organizations that are going to be on this particular type of show. I know, The Miz is going to be hosting it, but on the competitor side of things, Wardlow is going to be on there. And lo and behold, out of the depths of obscurity, to be quite honest, Camille is also going to be one of those competitors on that show. So apparently that shoulder injury that she had received from going through the wall by Chris Statlander is now healed up. So maybe once we get done with this Gladiator show, we're going to actually see her inside the AEW ring and accomplishing some things that, quite frankly, she deserves to be accomplishing. But look, your thoughts on the American Gladiators reboot and having different organizations, wrestlers involved.
Well, first of all, I mean, American Gladiators, what is this, like the third or fourth reboot they've had? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the great things when you talk about television is the idea of something works. Let's see how many times we can reboot it and make some money off of it. But when it comes down to it, it's not a wrestling competition. It's not Tough Enough. It's not LFG. It's not any of those things. It is American Gladiators. And if they wind up having a situation where you have Camille and Wardlow and The Miz and you have all this stuff, kudos to them. Because you've got some of the best physical athletes that you could possibly have. And you got somebody with a gift of gab. The Miz is one of those that he can make you extremely happy, or you want to go out there and you want to punch him. It's truth.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, props to them. I mean, again, it's going to give you the opportunity. And some people, they might want to have the Miz go to AEW, or that might be Wardlow going to the WWE. Is anything official? No. Are they going to talk about something? Because I mean, they're both on television. I mean, it's one of those things. That couldn't stop them from, like, if they were going to be at a Cracker Barrel or a McDonald's or something. I mean, that's not going to stop them from potentially interacting with one another. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like back in the day when you had NWA, TNA, and WWE. They wound up interacting. Look at all these different conventions. Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen.
For sure.
It just. I think it's kudos for the idea that, I mean, they may not acknowledge it, but they're both there. And I mean, again, it's like, you want the best of the best? This is what you've got on the new season or the new reboot of the American Gladiators.
Superfan HD, what do you guys think about this American Gladiator reboot?
Personally,
go ahead.
Personally, I think, where else are you going to find gladiators? Why not pick wrestlers? All of them should be wrestlers, if you ask me, because those are the gladiators of the world.
Interesting.
So,
kind of on what Luke was saying. It's interesting, but it's also not interesting because how many times have we tried this? So,
yeah,
it's worth a shot of viewing, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think you're going to be around that long. We'll see.
3 words. Hire H.D. Daniels.
I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, as long as it doesn't take away from this show, hey, I'm good with it, brother.
Actually, 3 more words. Hire the Superfan.
There you go. There you go. I like it. Bodyslam.net's Corey Hayes says WWE is working with a mainstream artist to create a new entrance song for Seth Rollins. And Hayes also mentioned that Rollins' faction with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed is expected to receive its official WWE name soon. Right now, the way the crowd is with Seth Rollins and the way they sing that song with Seth Rollins, I don't think really now is the time to change that up, personally. And then also with them getting a name for the group, is that really, really, truly needed right now with those 4?
Well, first of all, I do think the song needs to change for one reason. Seth is a heel, and singing someone's song is a fun thing to do, and you don't want to do that for a heel. They got to stop the crowd from doing that.
Okay.
My opinion.
Well, obviously. HD, I want to throw this one out here, though. You don't think that even though they're singing his song, you don't think that's something that Seth Rollins couldn't just say, that's the closest to me as you're going to get? I mean, that's one of those where you can identify. That's like a John Cena. That's like a Randy Orton thing. I've said this to a lot of people, and Sarge, you brought it up, but I'm going to kind of take it a little bit different. If anybody needs a new theme, it needs to be Braun Breaker. Because Bronson Reed fits the character. Seth Rollins fits the character, in my
Sure,
opinion.
sure.
But Braun Breakers is kind of like, I think he needs that something a little different. Now, naming this group, it's really kind of a catch-22, because how long was it before they named the NWO? How long before they named DX?
Well, actually, with the NWO, Hulk Hogan did it that night that he quote unquote turned, because but he simply called it New World Organization. And then the next night on Monday night is when they started using the NWO stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, again, when you look at it, though, it's the idea of how long were Scott Hall and Kevin Nash there before they even had that? 2 months, 2.5 months,
Correct.
3 months?
They were the outsiders.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you don't always have to have a name. And again, everybody keeps talking. When is Seth Rollins going to be leaving the WWE? That's where you're at from there.
Yeah, for sure.
I do want to chime in. You're not the only one that reads dirt sheets, Sarge. There is a rumor going around, and I seen Fred Durst himself comment on it, that Limp Bizkit is working on Braun Breaker's new entrance music.
Oh, wow.
That'll make him a babyface.
That'll
right
be
to the top.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting for sure. 100%. What are your thoughts with this year being, and we've got about a minute and a half left here, SummerSlam going to 2 nights this year?
I got to tell you right now, to me, no.
Good.
And the reason why
no
is
yeet.
No yeet.
There you
on
go,
that one.
Superfan. You got a no yeet.
And the reason why is because I compare it this way: WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom. That is yeet. But when it comes down to it, the idea of SummerSlam, what's next? The Survivor Series going to 2 nights? Royal Rumble going to 2 nights? No,
That's what I see.
that doesn't work. The only one to me that would need to be a 2-night event potentially could be Mania, but I'm still a classic individual in the idea of 1 night for an event.
Me and you.
Makes it here.
He's the only other person. Okay, 3 people. I didn't know you were on the one-night team.
I'm on that 1-night team.
All right.
For sure,
3
100%.
people.
Because that's where I think this is going to go towards, is WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Rumble all moving to 2 nights. And, you know, I right now, personally, I'm just not digging it.
Yep.
See, I guess my thing is, if they hold it just to these 2, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're watering it down.
I mean, they're making $1,000 on seats in the back row, so they're gonna.
We've got less than a minute left here on the show. You know, I want to thank yourself, Luke Roberts, and John for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us in. I appreciate it.
100%. We hope to have you guys back again very, very soon. You know, Superfan, thank you for coming in. HD Daniels, thank you for coming in. Last 10 seconds for you, Luke Roberts.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, make it a point. Next Sunday, Andres Banquet Center, 4254 Telegraph Road in St. Louis, is the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. You got Frank Reed, you got Mark Bland, Ace Strange, Peggy Mender, Steve Sharp, Doc Lombardi, myself, Jeremy Lightfoot, Douglas O'Shea, Ed Smith, Pete Madden, and the one and only Mischief going to be there, sponsored by the MMWA, by STL, CPW, the Wrestle Talk Podcast, and the Pro Wrestling Shirt Shop. It's from 1 to 5 p.m. For ticket information, $30 in advance, $35 at the door, 314-215-1481. Yeet.
Guys, go watch some wrestling.